Yes guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A with myself. Obviously with myself because nobody else is here in the room, but I put on my Instagram a questions box and people have been asking me questions. There's some like wee kind of small ones in there, and then there's some deep ones, you know, we're about to get deep, you know, so get yourself prepared for it. I think we'll start off with the kind of smaller ones first, and then we'll like work our way into the kind of deep ones because I've got a lot to talk about. You'll see from this YouTube channel, you know, I really hate talking about myself. But yeah, let's start off with question one. Okay, so question one is, what is your favourite food? See, to be honest, I genuinely don't know. Like, I don't actually know what my favourite food is. If you're asking, like, about, like, a takeaway, I'd probably say, I don't know, it's such a hard one. I love Yayas, right? If you're from kind of, like, the Glasgow and surrounding areas, you'll know what Yayas is. It's kind of like Pepe's, like Black Rooster, that kind of vibe, like piri piri, but it's too good, man. It's class. Either that or there's a Chinese where I'm from called Lomond House. I feel like you could go to Chinese's anywhere and they all taste the exact same, but with Lomond House it's just so different, it tastes class. So if you're talking about takeaways, either Yayas or Lomond House is my favourite food. Right, okay, question two, who is your favourite singer? If you know me, you'll know the answer that's about to come out my mouth, and some people might be surprised at this, maybe not when you see what hoodie I'm wearing, but Justin Bieber. I am a mad believer, man, and I'm not scared to admit it. Not scared to admit it, never have been, never will be. I think people think that Bieber's this wee guy still that, I don't know, sings like shitey tunes and stuff, but see, if you actually listen to like his albums, I think he's the greatest ever. Honestly, I genuinely think he's the greatest ever. Me and my pal, we queued at like 6 in the morning when he came to Glasgow. People are going to think like, oh my God, what are you about? But me and my pal, we queued at 6 in the morning when he came to Glasgow. Yeah, I was literally like touching distance. I'll try and find the video actually, I'll put it in here, right? I'll try and find the video. It was shot on like an iPhone 4, right? It shows you how long ago it is and how bad like the cameras were back then. So it just shows like how close I was to him, man. But yeah, he is the absolute boy, man. I absolutely love him. But I've got quite a varied music taste, to be fair. Like, I like him. I like people like D Block Europe, if you know who they are. Lil Baby, literally. But then I've got like on my playlist, I've got like Frank Sinatra in it, and Elvis and Michael Jackson, and literally I've got the most varied music taste in the planet. Like, if I could only listen to somebody the rest of my life, it would be the boy Bieber. Okay, question three, how many tattoos do you have and what do they mean? I've got quite a lot. I don't know if like I want to be like covered. My left leg is basically fully covered anyways. I'll run through them. So I've got like Roman numerals on my collarbone. That's my mum's birthday. I'm my mummy's boy. I've got that. I've got some Chinese writing down my ribs. I've got a tiger on my thigh. That's pretty big. The bottom part of my leg is like a New York leg sleeve, half leg sleeve. I've still to get the other half finished. It's got like the Statue of Liberty in it, like the Empire State Building, things like that. Try to think what else I've got. I've got a palm tree on my ankle. I've got a smiley face underneath my toe. Those three ones, they were in Magos, right? They were drunk ones, man. They're like probably the best drunk ones I could have got, because at least I didn't get like a girl's name on me or something. But yeah, I've got quite a lot now, and I do want to keep going, and I'm going to get my whole leg covered. I just need to get booked in with the guy that done my leg sleeve. Okay, question four, how long have you been doing TikTok for, and any advice for starting one? If you're talking about like when they start to pop off, I genuinely don't know, but I've not been doing it that long, like maybe since like April this year. I did post TikToks like ages ago, but I wasn't like consistent with it or anything. So that kind of leads it on to like the next question, any advice for starting one? Genuinely consistency, right? The problem that I made when I started TikTok was I would post stuff and it would get like 0 views, right? And when it would get 0 views, I would get myself so down about it, and I'd be like, fuck that, I'm not posting on TikTok anymore. But see, if you're consistent with it, I feel like TikTok like favours people that use the app more, which is why I upload daily on TikTok. And if you haven't already, go over and follow me over there, thank you. I think they favour people that actually like post on it every single day. So definitely consistency. Consistency and personality as well, right? Nobody wants to watch somebody that's like talking like a pure plank of wood, alright? I feel like a lot of people buy into you as a person and your personality rather than I don't know, just don't try and be something that you're not, is basically what I'm saying, and you'll succeed with it. And this is also sound cringy as well, but I'm a very, 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 very massive believer in the law of attraction. I think if you put, I don't believe in the law of attraction in the sense that you can just say something, click your fingers and it'll appear in front of you. I don't mean that. Like, I'm a believer in the law of attraction in the sense that if you believe something and put an absolute graft in and work really, really hard, then it will come true. And genuinely, there's been so many instances of the law of attraction that I feel like is happened to me, and every time it happens, it pure spooks me out. So that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that it would just like happen like that, but you do need to put like a graft in and a good serious kind of shift into it. But yeah, I'm a big believer in that. That was a really long-winded answer, right? But basically, been doing TikTok kind of like a few months now. I don't know how long it is. And consistency and get your personality across for starting one. Okay, question 5. What is the best routine for starting the gym? I take it you mean by like actually getting into the gym in the first place. Again, literally just consistency when you first start off, right? If you've heard, it usually takes about 3 weeks, 21 days to build a habit, all right? And usually with my clients as well, see if somebody's new to the gym and they first come on board, usually the first kind of 3-4 weeks are a wee bit all over the place, and they're finding their feet with the whole process. But usually what I find with people is after that 3-4 week mark, that's when you see that kind of run of consistency and they really get really stuck into it as well. Find a time that you like going in at, alright? If it's the mornings, go in the mornings. If you prefer training at night, go in at night. Try training with a friend if you're starting up. If you're a wee bit nervous about going into the gym for the first time, try coming in with a friend that's maybe in the same position as you. In terms of being nervous for starting the gym and going in and thinking, oh, people are going to be like looking at me or saying this and saying that, I know it's a hard mindset to get into, right? But try your very best to get into your head. Nobody gives a fuck about what you are doing, like genuinely. Try, I know it's anxious and stuff going into a gym, especially when there's like big guys cutting about. I actually find that the big pure bodybuilders are actually like the nicest people in the gyms, which is quite funny. But yeah, consistency, find a time you like going in at, pick a good training program that you like, go in with a friend. All of these are good ways like for starting the gym, all right? Okay, question 6. What were you like in school? I was a wee arsehole, man. I was a wee arsehole, 1,000,000%. Now that, believe it or not, I've actually matured a wee bit since school, but since I've kind of grown up a wee bit and matured, I can look back and think, yeah, you were a wee dick in school. I want to be honest as possible with all you and talk about my experiences, because there might be quite a lot of you that relate out there. I just thought I was kind of Billy Big Boys. I was the class clown. I liked like that attention of making like everybody laugh, and really, really, really did not get on with teachers. Like looking back on it, I feel like I probably had like a problem with authority in that sense. It's weird, like there was teachers that I really, really respected and stuck their neck out for me, and then there was other ones that I was just like, why are you talking to me like that? Do you know what I mean? I had a problem with understanding why just because somebody was a teacher, they could just like scream at you, shout at you, kind of tell you what to do. I know they're your teacher and you've got to respect them and stuff, but it made me like respect them even less a lot of the time. So that's what I'm saying, like see now that like I've grown up and stuff, like I can look back and obviously realise that I was a very, very big part to play and why I was a bit of a kind of wee dick in school. You can obviously appreciate that like a lot of the problems that I faced in school was down to me, but just at the time I just couldn't see that, because like 17, 18, 16 to 18 or whatever, you just feel like you're invincible, like you can be able to do what you want. There was a couple of teachers I need to give a shout out to, man, honestly, like Miss Clark, now Mrs. Smith, if you're watching this, that woman is an absolute angel, honestly, absolute angel. Always looked out for me. Every time I got into trouble and stuff, she'd always like be there to give me like a boot up the arse and stuff. People like that, like I've really, really respected them, and I would never want to be like a pure wee dick to them because I really did respect them. And then Miss McElroy as well, honestly, see if it wasn't for her, genuinely would have been like expelled or suspended from school, 1,000,000%. Again, like every time I got into trouble and stuff, she always like stuck her neck out for me. She would have been an absolutely amazing head teacher for the school that I went to. She was amazing. And on the flip side, listen, there was a few teachers, and I'm not going to name names or anything, right? But I feel like just going back into that school and like I'm doing actual good for myself, you know. I'm doing all right for myself, because there was a specific teacher, and again, I'm not going to name names and stuff, but they were just obviously we really didn't get on and stuff, but looking back on it, I'm like, you're a grown man, like, sitting shouting in my face, I'm not going to do anything with my life and all that. I'm like, imagine saying that to a wee guy, whether you liked him or not, or whether you thought they were like a wee dick or not. Like, don't say that to a young guy, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's ridiculous. And again, like, the kind of person that I was, see teachers that came up and pure screamed in your face and stuff, it just made me hate you even more. Like, it didn't make you respect me or anything, or I would just always have that in my head and I would never forget that. So yeah, I feel like going back into that school and just giving you a massive middle finger, man, because I'm actually doing better for myself. So yeah, I realised it was my fault. It was my fault all at the time. I also want to shout out to my parents as well, like my mum and dad, because I know how much of a wee horror I was in school, and I know how much stress I put them under, and it just wasn't a good time in my life, you know. It wasn't a good time in my life. But I put them through a lot of shit. Do you know what I mean? So actually, shout out to them, because again, like, they've always been like extremely supportive and always so supportive in anything that I did. And yeah, I want to say thanks to them, because it definitely wasn't the easiest of times for them. So okay, question 7, I think it's question 7, I don't know. Why and how did you get into PTing? So kind of following on from the last question, really didn't know what I wanted to do after school, didn't really have a clue. To be honest, I know it's so bad, and please don't take any inspiration from me. I was just staying in 6th year to go to prom, so yeah. Again, that shows the kind of person that I was in school. Really didn't have a clue with what I wanted to do after school. I applied for an apprenticeship in a bank, and I got that, and I got the qualification in financial services. All right, I'll just do that because it sounds like way fancier than it was. But went into that, working in an office, and the training and stuff was good, but I feel like it got like made out to be way more like important than it actually was. And then when we got to the actual job, it was just working in like a call centre. See, to be honest, although I didn't know what I wanted to do in school, I know that I definitely did not want to work in an office. And again, if you work in an office, that's completely fine. It just wasn't for me. I was in work, literally, honestly, waking up every day, like, so miserable. Just dreaded, like, every single day I had to wake up and go in there. And it got to a point and I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I was 18, I was on, like, quite decent money for, like, being 18. And I feel like you kind of need to take, like, risks like that if you're not enjoying the situation that you're in. And I know it's easy for me to say that because I'm still like living with my mum and dad and stuff, and I've not got kids or anything to look after, so I completely understand it's not as easy for people with families and houses and this and that to pay for. You can't just like get up and like leave what you're in. It's not as easy as that for some people. So I was just like, you know what, I genuinely can't live like this anymore. So I was starting to get into the gym round about that time I was working there, and thought be quite good at it. Like, I wasn't in pure mental shape or anything, but I was really fat in school and I'd lost a lot of weight, so right away I feel like I could relate to a lot of people in that sense. Yeah, I just really liked going to the gym. I thought I would have been good at it. So I basically went and done my 2 years at college. Sometimes I wish I kind of just paid for the crash course and kind of got it over and done with. With college, in terms of like PTing, I feel like they teach you a lot of things that you really don't need to know and are never ever going to use. So sometimes I wish I just paid for it and got it over and done with. At the same time, I really don't regret anything that I've done. Like, I don't regret, as much as I'm like sorry, like, to like my teachers and parents and stuff, I don't regret the way I was in school. I don't regret going and working in that bank, because everything is like led up to lead me to where I'm in just now, in the situation that I'm in just now, if that makes sense. So I've got no regrets, no regrets. This is an absolutely unreal question. I feel I'm actually going to struggle to answer it, but 3 things you wish you knew at 16. 3 things I wish I knew at 16. Such a hard one, because I can't even really remember being 16. I was pretty much mad with it the whole time when I was 16. I wish I knew that everything was going to turn out all right, because I think I worried about that a lot, because I didn't have a clue what path I was going to go down on. If you're like a younger person listening to this and you're like round about that age, or you're in school and everybody's telling you need to know what you want to do, and you need to know 100% like what job, what career you want to go into, and it's stressing you out, just chill out, man. You definitely don't, especially at that age. And again, like, see, if you want to go to school and study hard and stuff, honestly, go you. It's just not the kind of person that I was. I just found it really hard. But again, I feel like kind of going to uni and stuff gets made to be like the be all and end all, but it's definitely not. Like, you could easily go into like an apprenticeship or a full-time job or something like that, and maybe like work your way up in a company or anything like that. Like, so again, like don't get yourself down if you see people going to uni and you think you're dumb or anything. Like, you're definitely not. Like, people go into things in hundreds of different avenues, alright? So don't stress if you don't really know what you're doing. Two things I wish I knew at 16. 3 things I wish I knew at 16. 3 things I knew I wished. 3 things I wished I knew at 16. Probably, like, again, talking about the school, like, probably, like, tone down the behaviour a good bit, because now, again, like, looking back, I can see how much stress and all the shit I put, like, my mum and dad through as well. So I wish I kind of knew that, because obviously I didn't want them to go through that, or I didn't want to, like, upset them, obviously. But just at the time, man, I was like, I didn't care about anything. I was just a wee arsehole. Three things I wish I knew at 16. I wish I knew about the gym more and like diet and stuff, because again, like, I was like quite heavy, and a lot of people always say to me, "Oh, you weren't that fat in school and all that." I think they're being nice, but it annoys me when people say that, because it's kind of like taken away from what I've done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that I was big in school and it was like unhealthy and stuff, so I wish I kind of knew about the gym and stuff like back then, if that makes sense. But I do feel like going to the gym now is definitely like a much bigger thing, especially with like young guys and stuff. Like, I always seen the gym, there's like hordes of like 10 wee 16-year-olds all training together and stuff. It pisses people off, but I think it's class, man, honestly. Like, I wish I got into the gym and knew about all that at 16, and these are the kind of people that are probably going to be absolute monsters when they're my age. So shout out to John, my man, for asking me that question, because that was a hard one, man. I liked that, it made me think. Okay, question 9. Do you ever get nervous to post things? This is an amazing question, alright, because I can talk about this. Do I get nervous to post things now? No, like, honestly, I don't care. I couldn't care what anybody says, thinks about me, anything, right? I cannot stress that enough. Sometimes people might look at my TikToks or see that I've started a YouTube or whatever and think I'm a pure gimp or whatever, say that's piping, but I genuinely don't care. Like, at the end of the day, I'm doing all these things to try and better myself and like make a career out of it, which I have been doing. So literally, like, my mind is bulletproof, man, bulletproof. But did I get nervous to post things? Oh my god, 1,000,000%. So even last year, like, after I qualified for being a PT, I didn't actually like announce it or like put it on Instagram or anything for months after, because I was so scared about what people were going to say, if people were going to rip the piss out of me, like all of these things. I was so scared, and I was always caring so much about other people's opinions, and it would genuinely like stop me from doing things in life. That's how like nervous and uptight I would get about it. But see, when you do get into that mindset of I don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about me, then your life will improve 1,000,000 times over. And I'm being so serious when I say that, alright? Because when you get into that mindset, it means that you're not scared to try things. There's going to be more opportunities that come your way that you're not going to turn down. You can start posting things that might lead to way more openings for yourself. You'll get way more opportunities. Peter, the PT in the gym, told me one time that, do you care about their opinion? I said no, and he said, well, why are you letting it affect you in what you do? And since, honestly, like, since like you said something like that, it pure resonates with you, and you're like, I don't give a fuck about what that person says, so why am I letting it stop me go and do something that's going to better myself and potentially going to get me opportunities? Like, again, talking back to the nervous thing, I was so anxious to even tell people that I was going to be a PT, right, posting my logo and putting up posts and stuff. And now fast forward a year later, and I'm not saying this to sound pure big-headed or blowing smoke up my own arse before anybody says this, alright? I'm not trying to say this in a cocky way. I'm just saying that since I've got into that mindset of not caring what anybody says, I've worked with brands, shooting adverts, going down to London and stuff. Like, things are like happening for me, and it's after getting into that mindset. So I think there is a book about like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I've not actually read it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I've read it. I literally hardly ever read. But I know that that is a good book in terms of getting into that mindset. So that's what I'd recommend. Okay, last question, question 10. What are your goals for the future? I think that's quite a nice way to end off the video. Goals for the future. I've got quite a lot, to be fair. So Business-wise, obviously, like I'm a PT, so I want to keep growing that. Potentially move kind of fully online in the future, and it means that I could kind of work from wherever I wanted in the world, just take my laptop with me, so that'd be pretty cool. I want to keep growing the TikTok massively. I really want to grow the YouTube, so that's why I'm putting a lot of effort into it. I really enjoy it, to be fair. I know this is only the second video, but last week when I done that video, and editing it all and posting it and watching like the final product, it gave me this buzz. And again, see, relating back to the like getting nervous to post things, see if you push yourself to do something that you're scared to do and you feel like you're going to be uncomfortable. See, once you do whatever it is you were going to do, the feeling after that is unmatched. Like honestly, it is unrivaled. I cannot describe the feeling, so that'll spur you on to kind of keep doing things like that. And once you get that one wee thing over and done with, then you can just keep going to more, honestly, 100%. Want to grow the YouTube massively, like hit 100k subscribers, and on TikTok hit 100k or 1 million or anything like that. I want to be happy. I think that's always like a one that a lot of people kind of miss out. Like a lot of times people, I want this amount of money and this amount of followings and stuff, but I don't think any of that is worth it unless you're not happy and content with your life. So definitely to be happy, a family, yeah, like just all of these are like all kind of goals for the future. But if you're talking about right now in kind of business and career wise, just to keep growing like the social medias and stuff, and grow myself as like a personal trainer and online coach, that's the goals for myself, definitely. Okay, that was a Q&A with myself. I went through 10 questions there. Again, we kind of like daft ones just about myself, and then more kind of deeper ones. Like the whole point of me doing this channel is to be as open and honest as possible about what I'm doing just now, about previous experience, what I used to be like, so that maybe people in the same situation can take a wee bit of inspiration from it and kind of grow from that and learn a few things as well. And I'm not saying that I pure have all the answers to life, I definitely don't, but I feel like I have been through quite a lot of things, and I've been that wee fat, nervous, anxious kid that's you're terrified to do anything and really scared about what people thought of him and thought I was a complete failure, and having teachers tell you were going to do nothing and stuff. So I've been in that situation before, and I've grew from it, I've learned from it, I've made mistakes and stuff, but you know, here I am, still here, still alive and kicking. That's the main thing. So if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, whatever, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next video. All right.